Hello, hello! Welcome back to One to Show event summaries. Nene brings us our second holiday theme focus event in a row with the de facto Project Sekai Christmas event, On This Holy Night I Sing. Surprise, surprise, it ran on the JP server from December 20th through the 29th, 2020. One to Show is the only unit to have 3 events in the first year of the game's operation, fun fact. I guess they knew people would get so attached to these silly guys super fast. The commission song for this event is Nijiro Stories, or Rainbow Colored Stories in English. Now I know it's July, but just bear with me on this one, okay? And maybe use your imagination a little bit. We're right back on track with the Phoenix Show Contest. One to Show is in 3rd place at the moment, so their second show needs to have just enough impact to make waves in the rankings. Well, I said as much in the intro. The 4 of them decide on a Christmas show. And not just any Christmas show, a Christmas musical. Rui explains the plot as such. A young girl at an orphanage is expecting another lonely, presentless holiday when she's visited by Santa's young apprentice, who has lost his reindeer and all of the presents he's supposed to deliver. A Christmas adventure ensues. You know, I'm surprised that there isn't a Hallmark movie with this sort of plot. It sounds like it could be entertaining at the very least. But that does mean that both Tsukasa and Nene must share the lead role, as this is a sort of duet, I'd say. Nene is very nervous about the central role, but she's the best singer, or only singer? I'm not sure. And this is a musical, so Nene does end up agreeing in the end. Uh-oh, it looks like the members of the Phoenix stage, the biggest theater in the park and the ones currently in first place, are also putting on a Christmas-themed musical. Tsukasa debates changing their plans, but Rui says they're too far in. Besides, 'tis the season for these sorts of shows. He figured that the other stages would also go in the same direction, so it's nothing to worry about. They'll just be in direct competition in terms of audience now. Anyway, the 4 of them decide to investigate the Phoenix stage to see what sort of thing they're up against. Their theater is huge. It just got renovated recently, so the whole place looks basically brand new. But the stage isn't what matters, it's the performance. And the rehearsal One to Show is spying on is just as dazzling as the theater around them. The lead singer is absolutely amazing, and Nene thinks about the gap in their skill. This girl is clearly very well trained. Just as One to Show goes to leave to talk strategy, the lead singer herself stops them in their tracks. Her name is Sakurako Seirin, the prima donna of the Phoenix stage. She's brash, smug, and somehow even more self-centered than our very own Tsukasa Tenma, if you can believe it. She's been to a few of One to Show's performances, and while the direction is spot on, the acting leaves much to be desired. She basically slandered Tsukasa for like 5 minutes uninterrupted while he just stands there dumbfounded. She also makes a dig at Nene. Everything comes back to how her troupe is better and that they're going to win the contest. Alrighty gang, a rival has appeared. What will they do next? Tsukasa tells Sakurako off for dissing Nene, and so she starts to make digs at Tsukasa and all of One to Show, because of course she does. But Nene is the one to send her away, finally standing up for herself and her troupe. Their shows aren't pointless. Well, the rankings will be the one to decide that, won't they? Sakurako saunters off and leaves One to Show at a loss. Next objective, absolutely crush the Phoenix stage and its members with the power of Wonderboy. Well, Rui reminds Tsukasa that their goal has, and always will be, to make shows that put smiles on people's faces. The crushioning is not the primary goal here. Tsukasa and Nene just need to calm down a bit, and once they do, it'll be time to put their frustration into something more productive, like rehearsal. But although Emu enthusiastically praises Nene's vocals, our lead singer can't help but compare herself to the astounding voice she heard earlier that day. The rest of her troupe realize that Nene is feeling down because of Sakurako and try to cheer her up, but none of them truly understand. Nene has spent so long studying musical theater that she knows exactly how wide the gap is between them, something only years of training can remedy. She tells the others to go on ahead without her. She'll practice a little bit more by herself. Rui watches Nene head back to the stage and can't help the feeling of responsibility that washes over him as their director. Nene can't let history repeat itself. She won't let herself fail. She practices for hours at the Wonder stage the next day, holding up rehearsal for the rest of Wonder Show. Rui thinks that he's figured out the problem with Nene's singing, though. She's holding back her emotions. She's treating this performance with too much rigidity. As Tsukasa says, she just needs to relax. That sense of effortlessness is what currently gives Sakurako the edge. But relaxing in a situation like this is easier said than done, right? Clearly, something is causing her to hold back, but she thought she got over that a long time ago. Wondashow carries on with rehearsal. Just as they finish, Miku pops up as a hologram to invite them all over to the Sekai for an extra special virtual singer Christmas show featuring their newest member. Nene looks at her hands and mumbles an apology about being tired and wanting to go home. She leaves her troopmates in the dust, and while thinking about how she used to sing before the incident, Nene runs into Sakurako. The latter takes more jabs at Nene and Wondashow and prances off again. The words cut deep into Nene's psyche. A week of rehearsals passes, and Nene's emotional state hasn't really changed. Emu and Tsukasa are more than a little worried about her, but Rui assures them that this is something Nene needs to figure out on her own. There's nothing they can do but support her from the sidelines. And so Emu launches into her super Wonderhoy get-to-know Nene plan. She basically sticks herself to Nene's side and looks up at her with those big puppy dog eyes until Nene caves and tells her about the theater program she was in when she was younger. Nene's origin story is a mirror image of Tsukasa's actually, just minus the younger sibling. But everything keeps going back to the day where she messed everything up, no matter how hard she tries to push it away. And yet, as Emu beams at the story and the boys chime in with their own stories of how they began pursuing theater, all of that feels so far away. It's easy to remember the bad memories, but Nene needs to remember the good ones, too. Nene has an epiphany when she gets home that night. Tsukasa mentioned having recordings of all of his performances when he was little, courtesy of his parents, and Nene thinks her mom might have a few as well. Watching those back, baby Nene is terribly off-tune, but so endearing. She wasn't afraid of messing up back then. She was just focused on singing her heart out. Is that the key? Having fun while performing, is that what brings people in? Maybe Nene lost sight of that underneath all of her anxiety about failing again. Nene thanks her younger self and throws herself back into practicing. She's a bit late to practice the next day, and even Miku and Meiko came to look for her personally, but Nene proudly announces that she's found what she was missing and apologizes to the Vocaloids for being so cold the other day. Oh yes, hi Meiko! Glad to see you finally! Nene also asks to be in the Sekai Christmas performance to show off her improvement, so everyone heads over to the Sekai for that. Nene sings alongside Kaito, Meiko, and Ruri, her past and present coming together in one neatly wrapped bow. Their actual show on the Wonder Stage goes perfectly well now that Nene has rediscovered her love for singing. Sakurako herself is in the audience, but no one from Wondashow seems to mind. When Nene begins her finale song, a solo number right from the heart, it actually starts to snow at Phoenix Wonderland. A Christmas miracle right from the heavens. Or maybe it was Nene's wonderful voice summoning perfectly timed snowfall. The world may never know. Sakurako even comes to compliment Nene after the show, so I'm willing to go with the latter on that one. Now I know you're all on the edge of your seat waiting for the rankings for this round of the Phoenix Show Contest. Well, in first place we have the Phoenix stage, but that's just the overall ranking. In first place for the second round specifically is the Wonder Stage. They managed to take the top spot in this round, but with the third and final round on the horizon, will Wonderland Showtime be able to pull ahead of their rivals? Stay tuned to find out what happens next. The curtain falls on another Wondashow focus for today. What did we think? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on this one, since it seems like a pretty impactful event, but my thoughts are too jumbled to get anything coherent out right now. There's been a lot of focus on Rui and Nene lately, and yeah, I know I just covered their first focus event, so of course they'd be in the spotlight a bit more than the other two, but I want to see more of Emukasa soon, and maybe the Vocaloids too. I tend to dog on them a bit, since most of the time they feel like a shoehorn plot device, but I think there's some potential here that needs to be brought into the forefront. Miku even makes a comment near the end that Nene didn't even need their help this time, and yet the virtual singers get 2 guards in the gacha? Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's move on before I get too carried away. Looks like I will be getting my wish of more Emu time, because the next event is Emu's first focus, Smile of a Dreamer. I'll see you then.